Mike Vone here. Welcome to my daily diary, an exercise in celebrating my work and thanking you for supporting it and thanking the Lord for giving it to me. I have full joy every day in carrying out this mission, as you well know. What did I do from Saturday, August 3rd through Tuesday, August 6th of 2024? What were my activities? Morning, noon, and night. Saturday the 3rd, I started the day off in Frisco, Texas, and I got an early ride, actually from one of the hotel employees who knew me. Maybe he's even watching this broadcast now. Met me decades ago on one of my Priests for Life trips, saw me there in the hotel for this Liberty Pastors Conference, and generously offered to give me an early ride to the airport. So I did, to Dallas Fort Worth Airport, and hopped on a flight to Orlando. Now, in the airport, on the plane, in the car to my office, I'm always doing work on my laptop and catching up on my emails and some of the topics I dealt with in the midst of that. My responsibilities on the board of directors of the Center for Bioethical Reform, some communications about that, some communications regarding Bishop Strickland, and videos we have that he and I did together, travel plans for upcoming trips, the broadcast schedule for upcoming programs, and upcoming Trump rallies, communication and dissemination of those. Arrived on time in Orlando in the early afternoon, and what I did was I had a staff person deliver my car to the airport because I needed to go to a couple of events. So I picked up my car, and then from the airport went to one of my favorite seafood restaurants there in Orlando and had a good shellfish dinner. And then after having that dinner and doing some phone calls in the midst of the driving and so forth, I drove to Leesburg, Florida, and got there just in time to greet Senator Rick Scott of Florida, as well as various Republican leaders of Lake County, Florida. And I was invited to be at that Lake County Lincoln Reagan dinner to lead the prayer both at the beginning and the end of the event, and also to share a little bit of our work here at Priests for Life. So I interacted there for the dinner for several hours with leading Republicans of Florida, and very, very happy to be among them. So many people that I've met already and have worked with in various ways. So the Lincoln Reagan dinner was a great success. At the end of that, I drove back to Titusville, and had it was actually great to be back. I hadn't been in my office in about a week, and so I quickly caught up on a few things before going to bed. Sunday, August 4th, there in the office for most of the day. Of course, it was a Sunday, time for worship, time for prayer. I also had the live scripture broadcast coming to you at 10 a.m. each day, and I also had some work on my computer in regard to the upcoming online clergy seminar, which we call the Good Shepherd Project, upcoming trip plans, mailings to bishops, some communication about that to my staff, a column for Life News. I wrote a column about this Liberty Pastors Gathering. If you read Life News, you will have seen it already. And the page on our website about this disastrous, extreme, ridiculous Amendment 4 being proposed here in Florida by the pro-aborts. So some work at my desk with things like that. I had to also do some settling in from this long trip. You know, there's always follow-up to do when it comes to people I've met, conversations I've held, various other tapings here in the studio, and just settling in and also looking ahead to another week of travel, which actually began then later that afternoon. So after having done some of this quiet work, some catching up on political news and so forth, I headed again to the airport. I was picked up in the late afternoon, head to the Orlando airport, and caught a JetBlue flight up to White Plains, New York. Now, it was delayed. There was rain and storms and everything. Got in pretty late up to New York, and then went over to my parents' house and settled in for the night. That was Sunday, August 4th. Monday the 5th, I was there at home visiting with my mom and my brother. So taking care of various things around the house, catching up on things there. Had an early breakfast, connected with my staff, had to do some work on my laptop. For example, regarding upcoming tapings of programs, the broadcast schedule for Priests for Life and abortion.tv, website updates, monthly credit card thank yous, the donors that automatically give each month, some work with volunteers in communication with them who want to help fight Amendment 4 here in Florida, travel plans, travel recordings, follow-up on, in other words, recordings from past talks that I've given and making sure they're available to you online, and also making sure that the recordings of the Trump rallies are available on all of our channels. So I did some of this work, communicated with my staff. At 10 in the morning, I had a meeting, an online consultation with a nutritionist, and this is purely preventative. Nothing is wrong, but I always like to know the best nutritional advice, and so I actually get online with a nutritionist every once in a while. Had to make a few other calls relating to doctor's appointments and had to connect with staff regularly throughout the day, and that's what I did on Monday the 5th, in between helping things around the house, helping my mom, whom I visited with. Then also had various other meetings with my staff. For example, at 11 a.m. I had a meeting with our executive director and our international coordinator, Bob. And then after lunch, I had two meetings with, first of all, with our executive director together with our Rachel's Vineyard coordinator. That was at 2. And then at 2:30 with another one of our Rachel's Vineyard leaders, and that was about a half-hour call. So from 2 to 3 was in those calls. Checked again on my computer, checked in with my mom, had another phone call in between with some pro-life leaders. And then at 3:30, had a meeting with our executive director and Mary, who takes care of our election volunteers and various correspondence with them. We had a 3:30 meeting. Then I had a 4 o'clock meeting with our fundraising director and with Mark from our administrative team. Again, just looking ahead, making plans and so forth. I had one other call in the afternoon with one of my doctors to update some records. And then dinner with my mom and catching up some more with her. And then in the evening, at 8 p.m., I was privileged to lead for about an hour a Zoom call with leaders of the Republican Federated Women's Organization in Florida, chapter leaders from different parts of the state, about Amendment 4 to bring an end to this disastrous amendment. And so we did that on the Zoom call, and then after that I had to stop at the store to get something and brought a conclusion to the day. Finally, Tuesday the 6th was an unusual day because maybe once or twice a year, and I really honestly, just this is not to try to seem so different from anyone else, but honestly just need like 1 or 2 days a year where I completely disconnect. I take truly a day off, not even looking at my cell phone all day long, not on my computer. What do I like to do instead? I like to go to the seashore. And so the Jersey Shore, I had to have actually some meetings in New Jersey, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But I had, nevertheless, a day at Seaside Heights, New Jersey, and was just by myself. I like to enjoy the quiet, the peace of the beach and the boardwalk and the sky ride and just enjoying seeing all the people there playing the different games along the boardwalk and just families having a wonderful time. It's very uplifting for me, and it was a nice day. So I spent from the morning until about 5 in the afternoon enjoying. I love the seafood there and get the raw clams and the other foods that they have on the boardwalk. So it was really an invigorating day. Got a lot of exercise. I went into the waves in the ocean and got a lot of good walking in fresh air. Now at 5 o'clock, I had to drive about an hour to meet with our vice chairman, and we had a dinner meeting in Long Branch, New Jersey. It was by that time on my way there, it was very rainy kind of driving. So, but we had a very fruitful planning dinner meeting from about 6 to 8, and that's with Anthony, our vice chairman. At 8 o'clock, I got in the car to drive back to my parents' house. But on the way there, I started with a half-hour Zoom call, which I called into by phone as I was driving, with our regional coordinators of Silent No More. And we had to have our monthly meeting. Janet, the co-founder of Silent No More, was on the call, of course, coordinating things. And we spoke with these wonderful regional coordinators from various parts of the country, and I spoke with them as I was driving, and we had a fruitful meeting, really, talking about how the voices of those who are silent no more about their abortion experience speak into the political realm. Silent No More, in and of itself, is not a political or legislative or effort. It's an awareness effort, but that awareness also informs the political battles, as of course we are in the midst of right now. So that was, finishing that call, I then got my way back to my mom's home in New York. And that was the day. Those were the days, August 3rd to the 6th, 2024. I hope your days are fruitful, happy. Thanks for supporting my work. Remember, I'm accountable to you, to the unborn, and to the Lord. May we all be joyful in that. Thanks for watching. We will talk.